Okay, welcome back to another video of PPS. Yeah, there has been a long gap since my last video. It's been 4 to 5 days. That's because my health is down, so I couldn't post my video. Nose block kada. My voice won't be audible. Now I'm feeling better. So we are done with unit 1 and unit 2. So now we are entering the one of the most important unit of PPS, and that's called as unit 3, functions and pointers. Functions and pointers. These two topics are gonna chase you throughout your life if you choose to pursue your profession in the field of IT sector. Okay, so this becomes a very important unit. This becomes a very important unit. So make sure you people pay attention. And if in case you want to understand this unit, you people already know the rules and regulations of my classes. You need to be up to date with my previous topics. Okay, so part A deals with functions. I mean, if you split unit 3 into two parts, part A splits talks about functions, part B talks about pointers. All right, so now we'll start with part A, that is function. Before I go into technical terms of a function, I would like to explain about some basic things using one general example, like what is a function, what does that really mean. Okay, consider human body. Consider human body and consider every single organ of your human body. It may be brain, it may be your kidney, it may be your liver, it may be your lungs, it may be your heart, whatever it is. Okay, every single organ is designed, it got evolved in such a way that to perform one particular operation, right? One specific operation. Like if you talk about lungs, it intakes the oxygen, exhales the carbon dioxide, a specific operation, specific function of the lungs. If you talk about heart, it pumps the blood. If you talk about brain, it gives the instructions. If you talk about kidney, it purifies your blood, right? Every single organ has one function to perform. Together, if all functions perform perfectly, only then we have a healthy human body, right? If one function, at least one organ misbehaves, one function or organ misbehaves, your entire body structures, metabolism is gonna break down. For example, right now I'm having cough, my lungs are not functioning well, my body is tired. In the same way, if we translate this example into computers, the programs that you write, the programs that you're gonna write from now on will have smaller parts called as functions. I'll explain what are those. Each function will be designed to perform set of instructions, that is a set of tasks. It may be lungs, it may be heart, here it may be arithmetic operators, logical operators, LCM, GCD, simple interest, compound interest, everything. Everything can be written in a single program, and that's what it's called as a function. Okay, unlike human organs, this function is a bit different. In this, function is nothing but a block. Function is nothing but a block specified using parentheses and has a name. Okay, every function has a name and it has a return type. I'll tell you what it is now. It has a return type and some return value which is not mandatory to have, and some set of instructions. This segment is called as a function. The definition of a function is very simple. A function is nothing but a set of instructions written inside a memory block, which is used to perform some set of operations. There is no particular definition for any topic of programming. You can design your own. Okay, so in simple, if I have to talk about function, a function is nothing but a set of instructions or statements written inside a memory block. When accessed, will perform one specific task initialized by the user. Okay, so there are two types of functions. First one is inbuilt function, and the second one is user defined function. First one is inbuilt function and the second one is user defined function. Okay, so now before I go in depth of a function, I'll just give you overview. In inbuilt functions, these are already been written by the developers of C program. When C programming was being started, when it was being developed, when it was being created, some of the functions are already pre-written. Okay, such functions are called as C programming functions. Best example is main. Main is an inbuilt function which was designed to start the execution. If you follow my videos, I always call main as the stomach of C program, because that is where the digestion starts in human body, and this is where execution starts in C program, main. And if I have to give about other inbuilt functions, printf that you call using stdio.h, scanf that you call using stdio.h, square root, sqrt. If you talk about what is that one more function, power function, all these functions are inbuilt. You just call the header file, that is mat.h, stdio.h, and you start using them. You need not write to code. You just need not write all the statements to perform that mathematical operation. Such kind of things are called as inbuilt functions. Okay, and if we talk about the structure of C program, I believe you people are very familiar with it. If not, go to first video and watch it. This part is called as this part is called as documentation section. This is link section. This is definition section, global declaration section, and the main section, right? This is the stomach of C program, where the execution starts, right? Till now, you people are familiar with all these 5 segments. But the third unit, the most important unit, talks in depth about 6th section, which was till now hidden from you people. I never explained it. That is subprogram section. This is subprogram section, where the user writes his own functions in a program, where the user writes his own functions in the program to perform some set of operations. Okay, like square root, power, you can write your own program to perform it. Addition of 2 numbers, you can write your own code to perform it. This is called as a function, that is inbuilt function and user defined function. Now let me give you the syntax of a function. Take this down. Syntax, in that first one, take it as calling a function. Calling a function. How to call a function? See, you call a function power, you just write power a comma b, right? You just call it like this. In the same way, to call a function, you just have to write function name, and in the bracket parameters. Just write it down. Function name in bracket parameters. That is, if I have to give an example for a function, write power function, pow is the function name, and the parameters that you pass, that is, you have to calculate a to the power b. How do you write? A comma b. The values that you pass in a function are called as parameters. Okay, these are parameters, and this is the name of the function, name. This is one example, and if I have to give another example, the best one is go for main. This is also a function. This function is designed to give the execution to execute the program. Main function is there. It has arguments and it doesn't have arguments. For now, don't have arguments, no parameters. A function can be blank as well, no parameters, and the name of the function is main. Name of the function is main. So this is how you call a function. Not this. This is how you call a function. Okay. Now, how to write a function? Take down syntax to write a function. Syntax to write a function. If in case my cough is irritating people, I'm really sorry. I can't hold back. Like, if in case I don't post this video, this will affect a lot of the students. So I have to post it even if I'm coughing. I'm really sorry for that. Okay. And if in case my voice is changed, it's breaking, I'm coughing, I'm sneezing, I'm really sorry. Take down the syntax to write a function. The first one is return type. Here it is return type, no space. Then give a space here and write function name. This is function name. Inside inside the bracket write parameters. Return type space function name bracket lo parameters bracket open. Okay, here write declarations, local declaration, write as local declaration. Okay, write instruction 1, instruction 2, or you can also write statement 1, whatever word you want, statement 1, statement 2, so on up to statement n. I'll tell you what are these. Then you write return keyword, return expression, exp, semicolon, and close. This is a syntax. This is a syntax of a function. It is return type space function name bracket parameters, local declaration, instructions or statement 1, statement 2, so on up to statement n, return expression, close. And the best example that you can take is main. What is the return type of a main? What value we return to a main? It's int, right? It's int. And the function name is main. Int main. Bracket open. You can write anything here. You can write anything here, like int a comma b is possible, right? Then you can write a is equal to 10, b is equal to 20, right? Then you can return 0. Done. This is the exact copy of the syntax. See, return type is integer. That's why I'm returning 0. There is a function name with or without parameters. We have global local declarations. We have values. These are called as statements. These things, whatever you write, is called as statements. That is the instructions that need to be executed. This is the return keyword, and I'm returning integer type. So return 0. Okay. Now let's write a user defined function. Take it down. Int, let's write a function to add two numbers. Int add. Function name I'm writing is int add, my function. And let's say I want to add two numbers, just like power of a comma b. If I write power of a comma b, I get the answer a to the power b. If I write 5 comma 5, I get some answer. If I write 2 to the power 2, I get answer as 4. I don't know this, so forget it. Right? In the same way, if I write add of 2 comma 3, I should directly get the answer 5. So there are two parameters. So first one is int a, that is 2. When you're writing the parameter, always remember 2 is an integer type, so you have to specify the data type that you are passing, and we need some variable to hold the value 2. So that's the reason I have initialized a. One variable initialization is done, and still we have one more variable 3 that is also of an integer type, and variable is b. First line complete. Open the bracket, just open the bracket, write a is equal to a plus b. See, I have already initialized int a, int b, so you don't have to write int a comma b again. No need to use it. You have already done it in the parameters. A is equal to a plus b, printf sum is equal to percentage d double quotes a plus b, right? A plus b, return 0, close. This is how you write a user defined function. Okay, this much is clear. This is how. If you want to write a function, to calculate simple interest, write int, the function name may be si, whatever name you can give, I'm giving si. What are the three parameters we need? Principal, time, rate of interest. Principal may be float, so float p, comma, time may be an integer, int, comma t, and rate of interest can be float r. That's it, right? So you just have to have one more variable si, so float si. To calculate si, then si is equal to p into t into r by 100. Done. Then you can printf si is equal to percentage of double quotes si bracket close return 0. Done. See, this function will calculate simple interest. This function will calculate addition of two numbers. In the same way, the power function that you used, it also has something like this. There is something called as int power. Okay, that takes two parameters, int a comma int b. Okay, and then it performs a set of instructions. What you need to do, if it is a to the power b, a to the power 5, you have to multiply 5 times. So the function that the developer developed was int I for I is equal to 1, I less than or equal to b, right? Second parameter to the power I plus plus. He's calculating what he's calculating. Just imagine what he may be calculating. P is equal to a into p. That's it. Here may be something called as int p is equal to 1. This is the function to calculate the power, right? If you're not understanding this, just don't worry. There is some function like this, and he may returning the value p, which holds the value. So this return p, what happens is it will replace this power of a comma b by the return p value, the calculated value. So this may become a to the power 2, that is 2 to the power 2. It will become 4. This function is already been defined in a header file called as math.h. Okay, so whenever you write something like this, power of a comma b, it doesn't mean that magic is happening. No, This power function will go to mat.h header file. It will find the code that a user wrote to calculate this, and then you will get the magical answer. Power is also a function. It is defined somewhere. Okay. And for us, it is mat.h. These are called as user defined functions. The functions that are developed by the user for his purpose. Power function is also there. Square root function is also there. Even printf function is there. The code segment that written inside, it's hidden. Whenever you just want to call the function, you call the name. So you don't have to write it again and again and again. This is the advantage of a function. So now let's write a simple program. Okay, let's write a simple program to add to add three numbers using function. To add three numbers using function. And how to do that? Hash include stdio.h. Hash include stdio.h. Now first write the name of the function. It may be int add. How many parameters can the user pass? How do you call a function like this, right? Add 2, 3 or add a, b, whatever it is. So 2 parameters. But for now, as I told, we are adding 3 parameters. So our function will called add a, b, c, right? So write it here, int add, int a, int b, int c. Int a, int b, int c. Just open the bracket. Just write the function first. Forget about the main. Just write the function. What is the function can be? A is equal to a plus b plus c. Addition is done. Printf sum is equal to percentage d comma a, or you can directly write sum is equal to percentage d, a plus b plus c. Nothing is wrong. Return 0, close. This is how you write a function to add 3 numbers. This is how you write a function to add 3 numbers. This is done now. This is done. Now continue and write the main below. We didn't write main yet, right? Write main. Here we have to take the inputs of a, b, c because we are passing it. So int a, b, c. Printf, enter the 3 numbers. Take the input here. Scanf, percentage d, and a, and b, and c. Done. We took the input. See, even when you're calculating power of 2 numbers, power a, b, before passing the parameter, you took the input, right? Enter the value for a, enter the value of b. In the same way, take the inputs. Now call the function. What is the name you wrote for your function? Add a, d, d. And how many parameters that your function takes? 1, 2, 3 parameters. And what are the parameters? A, b, c. Just write a, b, c. Done. After you write this, when the compiler comes here, it will find the meaning of add in your program. You already written it. So it will perform all these instructions and comes out of it. Once it comes out of it, compiler comes to next line. You have already printed the value. So return 0 and close. This is how you write a user defined function. Main is an inbuilt function, whereas this add was your user defined function. Is it clear? Is it clear? I hope this is clear for you people. I hope this is clear. Have you ever wondered, like, I don't know if you people never ever thought of it or not. Have you ever wondered, like, we have header file, right? Math.h, like stdlib.h, like stdio.h, so many header files. Did you ever think when I write power of a, b, what really happens in background? I am sure no one thought of it. What does this even mean? You people don't know. You people think if I write power of a, b, that is 2 and 3, automatically the answer will come. It magic. No beta, no. There is nothing called as magic in C programming. This complete block, what you call power function, this complete function is written in this header file. Okay, whenever you call power, it will go here, find that function, execute it and come out. This is the power of a function. Clear? Now I'll show you practically how to create your own header files, your own personal header files. Like, I really wanted to show this in class. This would have looked like magic, but yeah, I'll show you to create your own header files. Okay, I'll show you practically now. Let's start.
So as I told, now we'll see the practical demonstration of a function, and we'll also show you how to create your own header files. Okay, your own personal header files. So let's start. So first of all, as I told, it starts with a header file hash include stdio.h. Let's write, we are writing this program. Let's assume we are writing this program to write a function to add two number, two number additions. Okay, two number addition program. So first, as we all know, we need have main. We always have a main. We have a main. Okay, and now write like this: int a comma b. Assume printf. Now ask the user to enter the two numbers which he wants to add. Code ఇప్పుడు explain చేస్తా. So I'll not go slow here. Enter the two numbers slash n. Done. Scanf percentage d comma and a comma and b. Done. Now call the function name add a comma b. Done. Return 0. Done and done. This is how you call a power function, right? If you remember, we wrote power like this: power of a comma b. Here I am writing add of a comma b. I am just running the program now. Just running the program. See this? We are getting the error. What is the error? If you focus on the bottom, we are getting that add was not declared in this scope. Okay, fine. If you people think add maybe mat.h, write mat.h also. Mat.h, and now press F5. Still it's showing add was not declared in the scope. It means that even in this header file, the meaning of add is been not defined. Then what can we do now? The best thing that you can do is create your own function that will perform addition of two numbers, and that is int, and the function name is add, right? Add, and as you can see here, it has two parameters a comma b. A is of the type integer, and I need to have a variable that will hold that past value a, and integer b. Done. Now right here, printf sum is equal to percentage d comma a plus b. Done. This is how you write a function. This add function will perform addition of two numbers. See now, run, no errors. It's asking me for inputs. 10, I'm giving the two numbers as 10 and 20. Can you see the answer 30? Right? Is it wrong? Is it wrong? Is this wrong? Now I'll show you one more magic. I will call this function again and again. I'll call this function again and again. I'm writing, just wait. Now see, I'm writing add of b comma 30. I'm calling another function. I'm calling add of 5 comma a. I'm calling another function add of a plus b comma a minus b. I'm calling on a function. I'm just calling my own function multiple times. See this. I'm calling the function a comma b, b comma 30, 5 comma a plus b into a minus b. You can see it's asking me two numbers, let's say 20 and 10. You will find all the calculations done. Can you see this? You can find all the calculations done, or else you should have written this sum is equal to percentage d statement n number of times if you want to perform this here. Instead of writing like this, that is add of a plus 30, then you are going here and you are changing it again like add of 5 comma a. Instead of wasting your time, you can just create your own function to perform that operation, right? You can also create another function. Let's say I want to perform multiple subtraction of two numbers. Fine, just write the function int a comma int b. It will take two numbers, int a comma int b. Done, right? And just write here same. You just write the function what you want to perform. I just want to perform the subtraction of two numbers. Done. Come here, write sub is equal to percentage d a minus b semicolon f8. Done. See here, if you don't call the function, it's not an error. See, we are not getting sub anywhere. There is no sub. If you want sub, you have to call this here. You can call it anywhere in the calling function. Let's say I'm calling it here sub of a comma b. This is my subtraction function, and do it like this. Now it's asking me two numbers 10 and 20. You can see my sub function is also been executed, right? Yes or no? Yes. This is how you write a function. You can even write a function in the same program to perform calculation of simple interest. Let's say my p is 1000, my time rate of interest time is 2 years, my rate of interest is 7.5%. Fine, write your function here to perform component simple interest. SI. The function name I gave was SI. And what are the three parameters? It takes principal, which is integer type. It takes rate of interest, which is also an integer type for me. For me, it's an integer type. And then it is time. And the third one is rate of interest, that is float. Or done. You can come here. You can even make it as float. No problem. Okay, let's make it as float only. Why to cry? Float. Done. Now it has already got the values. I have passed the values directly. Calculate SI. SI, that is float. SI is equal to SI. 1 second. SI is equal to, people already know the formula. P into T into R by 100. Done. Done. Printf. Printf. SI is equal to percentage f slash n comma SI. Done. Just call this function. Now run this. No errors. No errors. 20 and 10. These are my addition of two numbers. But here you can see I have got the SI also. I also got the SI values. Even in this function, see here, you can also pass the direct values, or you can also pass the parameters like this. A comma B comma 7.5. Fine. That will also work. My A is the principal, so I'm giving it big. A is 1000, B is 2, and done. See, sum is 1002, subtraction 998. This is different, don't worry. That was A plus 5 something, or B plus 5. You can see my simple interest is already been calculated, right? This is how you write a function. Every single function has a particular task to perform. As I told, like a human body, kidney can do liquid purification, that is blood purification. Heart can pump the blood. This is how it goes. Now, let's do something more creative. Let's do something more creative. Can we create a header file? Can we create a header file? Our own header files. Header files ma like this. Hash include mat.h undi kada. We have something called as hash include mat.h. Can we create our own mat.h? Is it possible? Is it possible? Yes, it's possible. Create a new file. Okay, directly create a new file. Done. You don't have to write stdio.h. You don't have to write main here. Just write your functions. Let's say I want to add two numbers, and this header file has that function, int a comma int b. Okay, and then return a plus b. That's it. Return a plus b. What does this return? It returns a value of a plus b. We are returning a plus b. Done. Or else you can also write like this, int add int a comma int b. That's also possible. You can actually write here like this, printf percentage d. 1 second.
Sorry about that.
You can directly write sum is equal to percentage d. You can write functions in any style, right? As I told, it's a free will. You can write it like comma a plus b. But always make sure, the only thing is every function has a separate name. You can't write add two times in the same function. So I'm writing add and add. Okay, and I can create a function to perform what you call simple interest. Fine, adu kuda cheyochu. Int p comma int t comma int r. I'm just writing the functions. I'm not doing anything. Return formula p into t into r by 100. Done. This function will give me simple interest. Now you have to save it. Save with whatever name you want. I'm saving it with math, and the head extension is h, math.h, and you have to store it somewhere. The location should be well known to you, so I'm storing it in desktop. My header file name is math.h, and I'm storing it in the folder called as Pawan. So here is my header file. I'll just close this. Yes, make the changes. So here if you see, I have my math header file, and that can perform addition of two numbers and also simple interest. Now create a program. Definitely, if you want to call that function, we need to create a program, right? So come here and create your program. Hash include stdio.h, hash include int main. Just write the main here, and let's say you want to call add of 10 comma 20. Let's say we want to call add of 10 comma 20. This is the function. If I give F11, observe carefully, it is gonna tell me save where you want to save it. And when you're saving the file, make sure your program and your header file are in same folder. So this is my program. So when I save it like this, just give me a second. If I save it like this, you can see my program and header file are in the same file. And now if I run this, once you can see I'm getting an error. What is the error? Add was not declared in this scope. We also got this error when I didn't write mat.h. So now I have to write my header file name, right? I have to add my header file, add it like this. Hash include. See, the normal way of adding a header file is this. Hash include less than symbol, greater than symbol. But this will create a confusion because by default, even our C program has a mat.h. So still, it will not consider our header file because this is of high importance. To tell that it's a user-defined header file, the syntax is a bit different. You have to write hash include. Inside the double quotes, you have to write your header file name. Keep this in mind. If it is an inbuilt header file, you have to use less than and greater than symbol. But if it is but if it's your own header file, then write it using double quotes. And now run this. Now see our function got executed. We are getting the sum as 30. Yes or no? Yes. If I remove this also, if I remove this also, because stdio.h is used for printf and scanf, there's no printf and scanf here. Just with my own header file, sorry, this is not my program. Okay, just with my own header file. Yamendra. Oh, I'm really sorry. Hash include std kaval kada. I'm printing the answer. What am I doing? Stupidity. Sorry. Hash include std io dot this is required. Now with my own header file, you can see I'm getting the answer. And what are the other functions available in my header file? I can also calculate simple interest, right? So let's call that also. I will call printf. Just write printf. Si is equal to percentage of, and what is the function? Si of my function. P value is 1000, R time is 5, and rate of interest is 7.5. You have to just call like this, close it, and call the function. You can see I'm getting the wrong answer. Si of P10. Okay. 1 second. Not my mistake. I returned here integer, make it float. This should be a floating type return. So come here, and because the value calculated is in float, if you give F11, you can see I'm getting the perfect answer, that is 350, right? This is how you write your own functions, your own header files. So now you know what does power of A minus B mean. It is not magic. In the system header file, that is inbuilt header file called as math.h, in the same way these functions are been written, which will calculate that value, and only then it will return you that value, or else it's nothing called as magic, guys. It's because the that function is there. Okay, so it will be like this. You just have to write like this: printf pow power is equal to percentage d. So and write your function, call the function here, power of a 10 comma 2, done, and just run this. Now we will also get the answer for power. 1 second, I didn't write slash n, so it's a bit confusing for you. Slash n percentage d power of 10 to the power 2. Run this. Now you can see the answer is 0 because in picture ni endukala vastindi power of a comma b. Maybe because there are two math header files. Whatever it is, forget about the answer. Forget about. Now you understood how to call a function, how to read a header file, how to create your own functions, and how to use them. Clear? If you don't want to use a mat.h header file or like this header file, if you don't want to do this, remove this, just remove them, and just paste all your functions in the same program itself. This will also give you the perfect output. See, this is also fine. This is one way of writing a program. And if in case you want to store all the functions in a single program, that is all the functions you wrote in your life, and call the name, then you can create your own header file. I have my own customized header file called as pawan.h, which I won't share you with you people. It has almost 350 plus functions. Whichever I have program I have developed till now, every program is a function for me. Clear? So I want you people to create your own such header file so that You can use these functions to perform all the lab operations. Like if in case you create lab.h and you write 15 functions performing 15 lab programs, you can call them whenever you want. You just have to pass the inputs here and the program will be written here. Your entire program will be written in one function block. Clear? So this is about today's video. Tomorrow we'll enter the depth of functions. Okay. Jai.